Hey guys, Ryan with Honey Acre Farms here in Southeast Tennessee. Just doing a quick video on my sideliner slash hobbyist honey house. You probably haven't seen me on YouTube, and that's because I don't do YouTube videos, but I consume a lot of YouTube videos, and it's really probably the main way that I learn things about beekeeping. So I'm always thankful to be able to learn things from beekeepers that have more experience than I do. But when it came time for me to build my honey house, there just wasn't a ton of videos out there for a honey house that would suit me. So there are some out there, you know, like Ian Stepler that has a massive operation that's way outside of my budget. And there's some other smaller ones that might just be a touch too small for what I was looking to do. So I came up with this one on my own, and I just thought I would do a video. It might be helpful to somebody who's getting ready to build their own honey house. So I'll just give you a little outside view, and you'll have to forgive, it looks like Sanford and Son around here. I've got stuff strewn everywhere, but I've got a 3,000 square foot steel building here, and I sectioned off a third of it for my honey house. So this is the outside, got an exterior door here. Then I'll take you around to the back real quick before we go inside. I've got a 12-foot roll-up door back here, so I can just bring all my honey supers back here on a trailer to the concrete pad that's got stuff strewn everywhere and unload right here. The concrete pad, I did this year. This was just grass back here, but at the end of every season, I was taking all my equipment out here and pressure washing it, and it just turned into a mud pit. So that's the real reason I poured the concrete pad out here last year. And then I will take you inside the honey house. We'll go from there. All right, welcome to the inside of the honey house. I'm gonna talk really fast just so this doesn't end up being a half an hour video. So if you see anything that I talk about that you want more information on, just leave it in the comments and I'll try to answer it as quick as I can. So as soon as we come in, I've got a bathroom right here at the front, which is nice. In the springtime, whenever we're grafting, we don't have a ton of humidity. So I can cut the shower on in here full blast, and the steam will kind of raise the humidity level in the honey house so that whenever I'm grafting here at the table, it just helps with grafting if you have more humidity. As we come in, here behind me, we've got utility sink and this fridge over here. This fridge is really not a fridge. It's an old freezer that went bad, so I'll put a little heating element and thermostat down in the bottom, and then I keep a little bit of honey in here to keep it from crystallizing. A lot of the things that you're gonna see inside this honey house, I did just specifically because the state of Tennessee has certain rules and requirements for an approved honey house that I might have done a little bit differently if they had different requirements, but some of the things I did is because of that. One of those being the floor. This is an epoxy floor. The company's called Armor Epoxy. It's a do-it-yourself epoxy. I got it from Amazon, and the kit had everything in it that you would need. So even spike shoes, gloves, rollers, everything is included in the kit. I'm really impressed with it. I didn't know how it was going to turn out because my floor is a broom finish floor, not a smooth floor, but it came out perfect. So far it's bulletproof. It was easy to do. I can pressure wash it, roll stuff across it, drop things on it, and it does really well. So got the epoxy floor, the lights, those are shatterproof, waterproof lights. Got those off of Amazon, LEDs. They were really inexpensive. And then going from there, come around, got the roll-up door that goes out to my concrete pad where I pressure wash all my stuff. I've got the sinks. This is the one that I use the most. It's just a big single tub sink. I got it from, I think, restaurants.com. So got that sink, and then I've got the little small hand washing sink. That's something else that state of Tennessee wants you to have, and I got all of that off of Amazon, just as cheap as I could get. Everything flows down into that black box, which is just a grease trap, but it's nice because I can open the lid on it and then scoop out all the wax, so the wax isn't going through my whole septic system. That's nice. So here in the middle of the room, whenever we're extracting, I bring all my honey to this back door right here, roll up the roll-up doors, and then I will stack all of my supers here in the middle of the room. And you can see the floor drain. Got a slope floor in here going down to that floor drain. So I'll stack all my supers as high as I can get them in here. And then I will put box fans on top of those, run the air down through them. And then I have 3 dehumidifiers in this room. There's one over there. I've got another one over in one of these corners. And then I've got the ductless mini split back there on the wall. That thing is so nice. Air conditioner runs great on it. Heat runs great, so it stays, cool in the summer, warm in the winter. But the dehumidifier on that really pulls a ton of moisture out of this room. So between the fans and the dehumidifiers, I can get the honey pretty dry in a couple of days. And then also having the floor drain is nice whenever I'm doing that, because I can just have these dehumidifiers, the ones on the floor, just draining continuously into the floor drain. So I'm not out here emptying buckets, every few hours. This machine here is typically not in the middle of the room. That's just where it's sitting for the moment. Usually it's over there closer to that uncapping tank. This is a Man Lake chain uncapper and honey wax separator. So frames go in right here, and then lower the frames down through 2 chain uncappers. So it uncaps everything. The cappings and the honey fall down into the bottom. Helps to have this up. All the cappings and everything falls down into the bottom where it spins up, and the wax will stick to the grate. Honey flows through, and that does a really, really good job of drying out the wax. I like that unit. It's nice having it all in one unit. I left it on this pallet right here because it weighs a ton. It is so heavy, and I don't like screwing things down to the floor, because every year I'm always changing the flow a little bit. So I like having this thing on this pallet, because I can take my pallet forks and just move this wherever I want to move it. And so from there, I go uncap it, and then I'll take it over here to this Hilco capping tank, and I'll drop my frames in here. Once I fill this completely up, then I'll go through with the scratcher and scratch any of the low points that the uncapper didn't get. Then I've got 2 extractors. This was my bottleneck the year before. I had 1 extractor, and I was always waiting for it to get done spinning. So I've got the Man Lake 918 extractor. I like it. It does a really good job. And then this last year, I got the Hilco. It's the Mega Max, and I'm not exactly sure how many frames it holds. Off the top of my head, it's 30 something. And it does a great job too. I really like both of these. And then I've got, you can see, I've got both of them. They are draining into this Hilco clarifier. So the Mega Max just drains directly into it, and then the Man Lake, I just connect a 1.5 inch hose that runs over, and both of them drain into here. And then the Hilco clarifier has baffles inside that the honey goes below and over, and that cleans out the wax out of the honey. So whenever it gets to the very end down here, it is pretty much clean honey when it gets down here. There's a little bit of wax, but not much. So then from here, it comes out, and I don't have the hoses attached to it, but 1.5 inch hose going to my Hilco honey pump. And then from there, I'll take a long hose out of it and up into my Dadant bottling machine. I know it sounds like I'm a Hilco employee with all the different Hilco stuff I have in here, but they've got good equipment for a good price, and their customer service is great. So that's why I've got a lot of Hilco pieces. But really, everything that I have does a good job. My bottling tank from Dadant does good. My uncapping machine from Maxant does great. My Man Lake extractor does great. Everything does exactly what it's supposed to do. So it's nice not having any buyer's remorse. So that's kind of the inside of the honey house. This year we do, like every year, there's always a bottleneck that I'm trying to fix in my extraction process. I solved most of them this year with some of my new equipment. The only thing that I'm gonna do different next year is, instead of using these bucket filters over here, instead of using these, that has been my biggest bottleneck. Is I've got lots of bucket filters sitting under different pieces of equipment, and they just get clogged so quickly and easily that it takes forever to filter the honey. So this year I'm gonna do like another YouTuber, y'all probably watch his videos, Mr. Ed or Jeff Horchoff, where he takes his slurry of wax and honey and pumps it into 55-gallon drums and then lets it sit in those drums for a while and settle, and all the wax and bee parts and all that will come up to the top. Then he'll scoop those off and put them into his honey wax separator, and that's kind of his filtering process. But it seems like that would be much quicker to do that than to run all that wax and honey through the bucket filters. So that's what I'm going to do this year, and hopefully that will solve my last bottleneck. So real quick before I end the video, I'm going to take you upstairs so I can show you what this hole in the ceiling is all about. So we'll be right back upstairs. All right, so this is the loft upstairs above the honey house, and this is just storage area for all of my bee boxes, all of my equipment that's not in use, queen excluders, escapes. I do keep buckets of honey up here because it stays about 90 degrees up here all the time. So it'll keep my honey from crystallizing up here. Y'all, sorry about the mess in the background. It's like Sanford and Son around here, but it's just extra storage up here. But I do keep a ton of equipment up here and some heavy stuff. And so I had a buddy of mine make this cage for me, weld this cage. And I've got a Vevor winch attached to it, and it was really cheap. I think it was 150 bucks for that winch. But I can basically put my equipment on this and lower it down into the honey house. So it saves my back a little bit on carrying everything to and from. Got a little safety chain on here just in case something breaks. I don't drop this on my head. But you can see just lower it down into the honey house, put stuff on it, raise it back up. Really cool feature. Glad I've got that, and I have friends that know how to weld. But anyways, that's kind of it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them.